Pocket pistols were supposed to take over. Slim, lightweight, higher capacity, faster reloads. On paper, they solved everything small revolvers couldn't, and for a while it looked like they did. But here's what started happening behind the scenes. Shooters who actually carry every day, the ones who train, who deal with real-world conditions, started noticing something. When things aren't perfect, when grip isn't perfect, when ammo isn't perfect, when stress kicks in, those tiny semi-autos don't always behave the way you expect. And this is where things started to shift, because micro revolvers, once considered outdated, have quietly evolved. Not into something flashy, but into something extremely dependable in situations where small pistols struggle. And that's why in 2026, some serious shooters are going back. This isn't about saying pocket pistols are bad. Far from it. They offer capacity, speed, and modern ergonomics. But this is where expectations and reality don't always match. Because when you shrink a semi-auto platform, you also reduce its tolerance. Less slide mass, shorter cycling distance, more sensitivity to grip and ammo, and suddenly, reliability becomes conditional. Micro revolvers don't have that same dependency. No slide to cycle, no magazine feeding rounds upwards, no reliance on recoil to function. But that doesn't make them perfect either, because now you're dealing with heavier triggers, lower capacity, and different recoil behavior. So what changed in 2026? The designs got better. More refined triggers, better materials, stronger frames in smaller packages. And now, the gap is starting to close. Number 1, Smith & Wesson 340 PD. The Smith & Wesson 340 PD has been around for a while, but in 2026, it's being looked at very differently. This revolver is extremely lightweight, thanks to its scandium alloy frame, and chambered in .357 Magnum. On paper, that combination sounds almost too good. Ultralight, high power, simple operation. But here's where reality comes in. Weight and recoil are directly connected. When you reduce weight this much, recoil doesn't just increase, it becomes sharper and harder to manage. With 38 special loads, the revolver feels controllable. Switch to full power .357 Magnum, and everything changes. Grip becomes critical. Follow-up shots slow down. And this is where experienced shooters adjust their expectations. They don't chase maximum power. They choose loads they can control consistently, because in real-world use, controllability matters more than raw energy. Number 2, Ruger LCR .38 Special Plus P. The Ruger LCR in .38 Special Plus P is one of the clearest examples of how modern design improved micro revolvers. At first glance, it looks simple, but the trigger system is where things start to stand out. It's smoother than most traditional small revolvers, and that changes how the gun behaves under stress. Because in a micro platform, the trigger is everything. There's no margin for error. But here's what becomes obvious after extended shooting. The lightweight frame means recoil is still present, especially with plus P loads. It's manageable, but not forgiving. And this is where expectations shift again. The revolver isn't trying to compete with full-size guns. It's designed for close-range, high-reliability use. And in that role, it performs consistently. Number 3, Kimber K6's Dasa snub. The Kimber K6 brought something unusual into the micro revolver space. A 6-round capacity and a compact frame. That alone changes how shooters think about small revolvers. Because one of the biggest criticisms has always been capacity. 5 rounds versus 10 or more in a small semi-auto. But here's where things get interesting. 6 rounds doesn't match a pistol, but it reduces the gap, and psychologically that matters. The K6 also offers a smoother trigger than many older snub-nose designs. But again, reality shows up quickly. Compact size means recoil is sharper, and small grips mean less control if your technique isn't solid. So while the design improves capacity and feel, it still demands proper handling. Number 4, Colt King Cobra Carry. The Colt King Cobra Carry blends modern construction with a more traditional feel. It's slightly heavier than ultralight micro revolvers, and that changes how it behaves. Heavier weight absorbs recoil better, which means more control, especially with defensive loads. But here's the trade-off. That extra weight makes it less comfortable for true pocket carry. And this is where decisions become personal. Do you want comfort or shootability? Because in small firearms, you rarely get both at the same level. This revolver leans toward control, and for many experienced shooters, that's the priority. Number 5. Smith & Wesson Model 642 Airweight. The Model 642 Airweight has been a long-time favorite for concealed carry. Chambered in .38 Special, it avoids the harsher recoil of Magnum loads. And that decision is intentional, because in a small revolver, controllability becomes more important than maximum power. But here's what people often misunderstand. Lower recoil doesn't mean easy shooting. The trigger is still long and relatively heavy, and under stress, that affects accuracy. So while the revolver is reliable mechanically, performance still depends on training. And this is where experienced shooters focus their attention, not on the gun alone, but on how they run it. Number 6. Ruger LCRx 3-inch. The Ruger LCRx with a 3-inch barrel changes one key factor: barrel length, and that small increase makes a noticeable difference. Velocity improves slightly, sight radius becomes longer, and recoil feels more manageable compared to ultra-short barrels. But this is where expectations and reality diverge. It's no longer a true pocket revolver. It moves into belt carry territory. So while performance improves, concealability changes. And this is where shooters have to decide what matters more in their specific use case. Number 7. Taurus 856 Defender. The Taurus 856 Defender is one of the more affordable entries in this category. But affordability doesn't mean it's irrelevant. In fact, it brings a 6-shot capacity into a compact design at a lower price point. And that alone makes it appealing. But here's where experienced shooters look deeper. Consistency. Quality control has improved over the years, but it's still something people pay attention to. Because reliability isn't just about design, it's about execution. And in real-world use, that difference becomes noticeable over time. Number 8. Charter Arms Undercover Light. The Charter Arms Undercover Light focuses on simplicity and reduced weight. It's not trying to compete with premium revolvers. It's trying to remain accessible and functional. And in many cases, it succeeds. But here's where expectations need to be realistic. Fit and finish may not match higher-end models. Triggers may feel heavier or less refined. But the core function, firing reliably, remains intact. And for some shooters, that's enough. Number 9. Smith & Wesson 360 PD. The Smith & Wesson 360 PD pushes the lightweight concept even further while still offering .357 Magnum capability. And again, this is where reality becomes very clear. The lighter the revolver, the more demanding it becomes to shoot. With proper grip and training, it performs well. Without that, recoil becomes a limiting factor. So while it offers impressive specs, it requires discipline to use effectively. Number 10. Colt Cobra Modern. The modern Colt Cobra brings back a classic name with updated materials and design. It offers a smoother shooting experience compared to ultra-light revolvers, thanks to its slightly heavier frame. And that balance is what makes it stand out. Not the lightest, not the most powerful, but controlled. And this is where many shooters are starting to shift their thinking. Because in real-world defensive scenarios, control and consistency matter more than extremes. So did micro revolvers really make pocket pistols obsolete? Not exactly. But they expose something important. That reliability isn't just about design. It's about how a firearm behaves when conditions aren't perfect. And this is where micro revolvers quietly hold their ground. No dependency on slide movement, no sensitivity to grip in the same way, and a level of mechanical consistency that still matters. But they come with trade-offs. Lower capacity, heavier triggers, slower reloads. And once you understand those trade-offs, you stop comparing them as competitors and start seeing them as tools designed for different realities. And that's where the real shift is happening.